Today I want to talk about black tax. The black tax is one of the silent, emotional, and financial weights that many Africans carry without question. You know, on the surface, it is painted as love, it is painted as duty, or even nobility. But beneath it, there's often an uncomfortable truth that it is the child inheriting the responsibility of their parents instead of inheriting the assets of their parents. Eh? And here's how it starts. In many African households, there's an unspoken life contract that when you make it, then you carry the family. And it is not framed as a choice, it is framed as an expectation. Eh? The child who earns more is automatically the lifeline for rent, school fees for younger siblings, hospital bills for aging parents, and sometimes even extended family needs. Eh? And most of the time, it is justified by saying, you know what, we raised you. Now you must return the favor. But this flips the natural parent child dynamic. Because parents are supposed to prepare children for life, not use them as a retirement plan. Because when you do it like that, it comes with a hidden cost. You know, when you spend your prime years, the years that you should be building your own foundations, when you spend those prime years funding the survival of the generation before you, then two things always happen. One, your life's momentum is delayed because you can't aggressively invest, you can't build assets or even pursue risks because most of your income is for maintenance, not growth. And then secondly, you inherit your parents' unfinished struggles. Instead of inheriting land, instead of inheriting wealth or even businesses, you inherit debt, unpaid bills, and incomplete projects, all in the name of duty. Huh? This often results in a generational loop where each generation starts from zero, or even worse, from minors. Huh? And here's why it is not noble. I mean, not in the way we think. Society frames taking care of your parents as a moral badge of honor. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If the reason you're doing it is because they failed to plan, they failed to save and even prepare, then it is not a noble act. What you're doing is damage control. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. It is very compassionate. It is very kind. But no, no, it is not a win in the generational sense. You know, true wins are when wealth flows downward, empowering the next generation to build even further. You know, not when it flows upwards just to patch avoidable gaps. And most of the time, the root of this problem is parenting as an economic safety net. You know, when people have children with the silent intention that one day they will take care of me, one day my son will become a president, my daughter will become a lawyer, you know, then they are not parenting. They are planting a future income source, and this leads to pressure-filled childhoods, where kids grow up with the weight of I must succeed or my family will suffer. Stunted self-discovery, because career choices are made based on what will make the most money first, not what's truly aligned. Resentment in adulthood, you know, because people now come to realize that they never got to fully live their life. They only lived a continuation of their parents' unfinished one. You know, in a healthy cycle, parents build wealth and security for themselves before having children. You know, they raise the children with guidance, with education and resources, and not dependence. They leave inheritance, financial, intellectual, and even emotional. So their children start ahead, not behind. And now children in turn, they do the same for their offspring. And this will create compounding generational momentum. When this is the standard, any help given to the parents is not an obligation born of guilt. It is a voluntary act of love. And that is the difference between freedom and forced responsibility. Now, here are some of the ways you can break the cycle. Number one, recognize the pattern. Understand that the black tax is not culture, not in the healthy sense anyway, but often a symptom of generational unpreparedness. Number two, set boundaries. You can care for family without bankrupting your own future. Support should be sustainable, not self-destructive. Number three, change your parenting philosophy. If you choose to have children, the goal should be to fund their start, not to drain their future. And lastly, build wealth downward. Shift the vision from my kids will take care of me to I will make sure that my kids never have to rescue me. If you really zoom out, the black tax is not just an economic issue. It is an identity and alignment issue. It is the result of confusing love with economic dependence and mistaking sacrifice for progress. Bonge la scarcity mentality. The generational breakthrough will come when African families normalize downward inheritance and not upward rescue. That's when compassion will be a choice, not a cage. My people, heal. Heal.